Welcome, welcome, welcome back to Truth Quest. My name is Aaron Moriarity. I will be your host, and we're going to go on a quest for truth together. Yes, we certainly are. We're going beyond the range of strange. Yes, where the outrageous is contagious, and the paranormal is the new normal. Yes. Welcome to the Truth Quest. And you are an integral part of the Truth Quest because we all hold the answers, parts of the puzzle that all fit together that bring us full disclosure. Yes, that's what we want, not this partial junk they're trying to give us. Oh yeah, a tic-tac. Let's talk about that for 50 years. I think not. I just think not. So I'm sharing this out to my Facebook friends. So I hope you like that new cut line that I just thought of today. Beyond the range of strange. Where the outrageous is contagious. And the new normal, the paranormal is the new normal. Call in. Call in. Call in. It's a call-in show. Yes. And we'll put that information up to call in a little momento here. Hello, 4 people watching, 4 likes. I'm going to be number 5. Remember the number that you get when you hit that like button. That's the lucky number you have for at least a week. Oh, now there's 6. Fantastic. Okay. There's a message to start it all off. Hello, Mud Rabbit. How are you doing today? Yes, we're going beyond the range of strange, where the outrageous is contagious, and the paranormal is the new normal. Yes, the Truth Quest. So welcome back, friends. You know, and sometimes I look in my analytics in the behind the scenes of the show, and I see how many different countries, people from different countries are watching this show, and I'm just blown away. Yes, the awesome possum is snuck in. I think, you know, I don't know. He kind of resembles a tribble, right? Kind of looks like a tribble without his body. Maybe Kirk thinks it's a tribble. Great here. Mud Rabbit says, hope all is well with you, Aaron. Yes, all is well with me. I had a little bit of a scare with my tooth. You know, I had a tooth extracted recently. Hello, Catherine. Good to see you here. And that seems to have resolved itself. So back to semi-normal. And nothing to worry about there. So that's all well and good. Yes, beyond the range of strange, where the outrageous is contagious, and the paranormal is the new normal. The paranormal is the only normal, I think, right? Didn't the Addams Family teach us that? If I learned anything from the Addams Family, it's that. Yes. Well, I'm going to put the information into the chat area. And so here we go. There you are. There's the Zoom-o-matic. So we can zoom ahead with some calls. In the meantime, whilst we wait, boy, Red Pill had a good guest on tonight. Hope you all caught that show. If not, go check out Red Pill on Twitch, Rumble, BitChute, DLive, Odyssey, the Foxhole. He's like everywhere. I don't know how the guy does it. He's just everywhere. You know, he's everywhere. So yeah, Captain Kirk keeps hitching a ride. You know, I guess he's a. Hey, Sandy Sue 22. You're here on time. Yeah, we just started. Welcome, Sandy Sue 22. And thank you for all of the information that you've been sending me. And it was Sandy Sue 22 that sent me that Bernie Mendez video link. So I forgot to thank you for that the other day. So thank you. Yes, excellent show on Red Pill tonight. Yes. Yeah, we have to stand up for our rights or we're not going to have anything left. If nobody stands up, then what's going to stop them from taking every single right? Because that, you know, that's their plan. You know, I just don't know why people can't want to be good people. You know, I just don't understand it. I guess people get blackmailed into doing bad things. And that's sad. You know, friends, there's a solar flare heading to the US or to Earth here from the sun. There was a big eruption. And so I'm gonna play a little bit of a video that shows that very well. And so we could experience some kind of outages, perhaps. It'll be a test of the grid at any rate, I think. Now, some of the fallout from the solar flash already has hit Earth. Those are the particles that travel faster than light that hit the Earth that somehow electromagnetically do this. But so here is, now this is Suspicious Observers. Go and subscribe to them. He's got a lot of subscribers, but you can always use more. And he does a great show. And this is fair use. I'm just going to play a little bit of this because I think it's a really, he does a great job. I'm just going to play a portion of it. I'll put a link to this video in the description of the video when it's done. So go over to Suspicious Observers. He does a great show and he just keeps an eye on this stuff and he's very knowledgeable about this. So we'll play this. Oh boy. Hello? Hello, Max. Hello, Max. We just started watching a video, and in fact, I have to restart it because it's not loud enough.
Okay.
Okay, I guess we'll just pick it up right here.
Questionably be the best test of Earth's magnetic field so far this sunspot cycle. A plasma filament running through the southern sunspot areas began lifting, then broke through the arching umbral fields above the spots,
Look at that.
triggering the cascade of chaotic events that led to an X-ray explosion the size of Jupiter at the large southern active
Look at
region.
that.
The eruption reached up and did touch the X-class flare range, literally scraping the underside of the floor. We're going to watch the ionospheric excitement from
Here
the
it comes.
solar
It's going to
flare
hit here.
region absorption prediction. Now, obviously, that flash is the flare disruption centered over the noon position under the sun. But then, watch the polar regions light up. This happens during geomagnetic storms, but also during polar radiation storms, high-energy proton particle events that are triggered by solar flares, and those don't take days to arrive. Those come along the interplanetary magnetic field, sometimes moments after the flare light is seen.
There you go.
This event was the lowest level polar proton storm and should be descending soon in the coming hours unless there is further flaring. Now, as we watch for further...
Okay, so I just wanted to play a little bit of that. It's pretty spectacular, I'd say. Hello, Max. How are you doing today?
Great. How are you?
If I was doing any better, I'd be you.
Good. Well, I want to apologize to the viewers. I fell asleep this last time because I basically had a turkey sandwich late at night, and it gives me a food coma eventually.
Well, might be the show's fault because we do have a late night show here, and we do put anesthetizing content in here to help our viewers sleep. So you're welcome. Could be our fault.
I hope I didn't snore too loudly.
Yeah, we thought you were sawing wood or something. We didn't know. Thought you were in the shop with the bandsaw.
I haven't gone back to listen to that video. I'm too embarrassed to do so.
Well, I think it was fine. Good thing you don't talk in your sleep. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
So what's new in your world?
Well, I've just been running through some interesting things about the structure of the universe.
Oh, yeah?
NASA's recent figures say that 68% of the known universe is dark energy. 27% is dark matter. And that leaves 5% left, which is all the known matter that we can observe. All the electrons, the up and down quarks, which make up the protons and neutrons, and then the neutrinos.
Mm-hmm.
And you think about that, only 5%. So where is the rest of it?
Well, I think isn't there still a lot of questions about whether dark energy or dark matter even exists, because it's theoretical, right? I mean,
right. What is it? Yeah.
Yeah. I have a theory. Yeah. I have a theory on what it is, but what's your theory?
Well, they know dark matter shows that they infer dark matter from basically the attraction of galaxies toward areas. Like if you look at the equation, what it looks like for a Mandelbrot set, you know what that is? Chaos theory shows that they know the universe is not uniform and spread out uniformly. Mm-hmm. It's more or less in a disk shape, and it's more or less looks like the Mandelbrot set, very similar.
Okay.
And I don't know if you can find that image of the Mandelbrot set or not.
You want me to look for an image of a Mandelbrot set? Well, the image I do have up there now is, let me see, where is it? It's okay. Here it is. It's from the BBC. It's a news item from the BBC. How should you talk to your friends and relatives who believe conspiracy theories? And here it is. Hey man, you were right this whole time. I'm sorry. And there's the news flash. Okay. The Mandelbrot set.
Mandelbrot, yeah.
Mandelbrot.
Brot, B-R-O-T.
Mandelbrot.
M-A-N-D-E-L-B-R-O-T.
Okay. Set,
yeah.
Isn't that like it's one of those reoccurring patterns? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another name for that. What's it called?
It's chaos.
No.
Fractals.
Fractals. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so I guess I could just do a screenshot of these, and this would be a good representation of the Mandelbrot set. Images. Yeah, the more you go into it, you see a reoccurring pattern, and it just never ends.
You notice how they know the galaxies in our universe. There's images out there of a simulated that they know our galaxies are in filaments like that. If you imagine where you're seeing things on that Mandelbrot set, our galaxies are aligned like that.
Mm-hmm. I don't quite have it up
Okay.
yet. I still have to open it. My computer is very slow.
Okay.
I have to get a new computer. So
But there, I don't know. I think it's called Galactic Filaments. They call it when you look up the actual simulation of our universe.
okay.
But it looks just like, very similar to the Mandelbrot set.
Oh,
And if you
and it's called what? What is it called?
Galactic Filaments, I think that's the name they give to it.
Doesn't it look like your nervous system or something, or the roots of a tree or something like that? Isn't that what the galactic filaments looks like?
Yeah, well, we have fractals throughout our reality. Okay.
All right.
Now, the interesting thing, if you find a Mandelbrot set, though, you'll see that some of the patterns look like they're swirling around something. That's just the mathematicians have called that area of swirling around something. They've called it a what's the name of that? I had it and I can't remember the name of it. But it's just a product of the mathematics. But you imagine if a physicist is looking out at the structure of the universe and sees all these galaxies seemingly swirling around something, what are they going to assume? That there's something very massive there that's dark and they can't see it. And so they assume it has a lot of gravity, right? When it might not be any gravity there at all. That's a product of the mathematics. It's like there's a function, which is called the Higgs field, and the function looks very much like the Mandelbrot set.
Okay.
Now, I don't want to go into what I've discovered entirely, but I'll just say this, that with the simple alteration of the Mandelbrot set, one can produce something very similar looking to the Mandelbrot set, except for one major difference. What happens is the golden ratio pops up in the mathematics of the new equation. So it would explain why basically the mathematics of our universe causes the golden ratio to appear over and over again.
Okay.
Or the Fibonacci series and those things.
Uh-huh. Okay, I found some, it takes me a while to catch up to what you're talking about, but right now I have the Mandelbrot things, and I think I discovered something just looking at those. It looks like this universe is filled with paisleys. I think paisley looks like the shape that's most common. Maybe that's what the missing particle looks like. But
I know what they call that. You know, where the areas where it looks like the filaments are swirling around something. They called it a strange attractor.
yeah,
But that's purely a function of the mathematics. But you can imagine a physicist looking at the universe and seeing that would jump to the conclusion, oh, there's some huge amount of matter there that all these galaxies are swirling around, and because it's dark and we can't see it, it must be dark matter. Okay. Well, anyway, the NASA's most recent figures said that dark energy makes up 68% of the universe, as far as we know it. And that's dark energy. And dark matter makes up 27%. And all the rest of the matter that we know, that we can see, makes up only 5%.
yeah. I'm not buying anything that they say. I don't.
Well, even if we knew they weren't possibly corrupted,
mm-hmm.
you know, when have we known NASA to give us the straight answers?
Right.
And at our level of development, you know, this is just essentially a first guess anyway.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So it's not a, it's, so, there's a huge, I have some ideas. Remember I said there's this thing called supersymmetry in physics.
Okay.
And it says that basically for each of the particles we know, like the electron, the up and down quarks, and the neutrino, those are the primary particles that we know makes up our observable universe. But we also know that there are heavier counterparts. There's an equivalent counterpart to the electron that's 210 times the mass of the electron, called the muon. And there's even bigger one called the tau particle, which is just like an electron, except it's 1776 times the weight of the electron.
Okay.
And associated with the muon, instead of up and down quarks, there is the charmed and strange quarks, which have the same charges as the up and down quark. They're just, I'm trying to find out what their masses are. And then there's the muon neutrino. So we don't readily observe these things, but they know they exist because they've discovered them in particle accelerators.
Well, I know the up and down quarks exist because that's how a yo-yo works.
Good try there. That's funny. But then the next one, the tau, has the bottom, top and bottom quark, as well as the tau neutrino. So there's a whole bunch of matter there that we really don't know how much of the universe it makes up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now remember, another thing they don't take into account, I looked this up, you have one up quark and two down quarks. Two up quarks and one down quark make up a proton.
Okay.
Like the charge of an up quark is plus 2/3. So you got two times A, so you have 4/3 charge, and then the down quark has a minus 1/3. So 4/3 minus 1/3 is 3/3 or a plus 1. Okay. Now, the up quark has 0.2% of the mass of the proton. So you have two of them, it makes 0.4% of the mass of the proton. And they know the down quark has 0.5% of the mass of the proton. So you add those together, you got 0.4 plus 0.5, a total of 0.9% of the mass of the proton is the up and down quarks. That leaves, if you add that up, then that means 99.1% of the proton is the energy that binds and holds those quarks together, the binding energy. Of course, that's what's released when you get atomic fission. So that's an equivalent mass. So you see that, that could be, you could classify that maybe in some respects as dark energy, because it's energy bound up in making up the nucleus. It's not energy associated with the, constituent particle, although they say, oh, there's gluons. But as far as I know, they have never quantified a gluon. It's just equivalent energy of a particle that binds the quarks together in a nucleus. I'm just trying to show you that a huge amount of the energy is bound up in holding the particles together.
Okay.
And they give that energy an equivalent, because of Einstein's equation, E equals mc squared, that energy is equivalent to some amount of mass. So that's something they're not, well, I don't know the assumptions made in the figures that NASA puts out,
Mhm.
you know, but
Well, I have a theory on what dark energy is and dark matter. And that is,
okay.
but it depends on if the information from Lawrence Spencer's book, Alien Interview, is true. If that's true, then this is my hypothesis. Errol said, who was the claims to have been the pilot of the
Alien from Roswell, right?
Roswell, claimed that before anything ever existed, before there was ever any planets or suns or anything, there were immortal spiritual beings. And for an immortal spiritual being, there's no beginning and no end, just an everlasting now. And
Right.
immortal spiritual beings love to play games, but they can't play games because they know everything. They're omnipresent, omnipotent. They're like a god. They know everything. They can do anything. So they began to concentrate all of their energy on this, like one Isby, immortal spiritual being, would concentrate all of their mental energy on an area to create this artificial area. And if enough other Isbys see it and recognize it as real, it just solidifies as real. And Errol said that these immortal spiritual beings are they are creator beings. They create things. They can create things from nothing. So there would be your expansion of the universe. There are these immortal spiritual beings who they're not from this universe. They're not of this universe. So they cannot be measured by anything in this universe. Therefore, they would appear to be dark energy if they're creating new matter all the time. And so that's what happened. And eventually they created beings to enter into the beings and relinquish their powers so they could play games. And so here we are playing games. That's,
well, you know, we're said to have the ability to create like that.
yeah. We're in these bodies. So that's what Errol said. So that's what I thought. When I heard that, I thought, wow, that could explain dark energy or dark matter.
Well, one of the things they say about dark energy that's unique is that unlike dark matter has normal gravitational attraction, whereas dark energy shows some evidence of gravitational repulsion.
Okay.
So that hasn't been, when I've seen references to that, they're not exactly clear on what the heck they're talking about.
Okay.
You know, they're very vague.
So,
you know, I've watched a number of these programs that I think it's the Royal Society of London puts out, where they have all these scientists, 4 scientists up on a stage, and they have a bunch of these on the internet, and two of them believe in, you know, one version of the universe, and then 2 others of each believe in something else, and they kind of go at it for 2 hours arguing their points.
mm-hmm.
And they're very interesting to listen to. You know, it's fortunately usually the moderators, you know, insert some humor now and again, because it gets pretty dull too. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But some are quite good, because people are trying to say, you know, where are we going to discover something new? You know, if you had to guess, where will we find some fundamental new particle or new energy or whatever? And I have an answer for that already.
Okay.
Bosons, that's defined as a particle that carries a force. As far as we know, there's the strong force, there's the weak force, there's the electromagnetic force, And then there's gravitational force, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes up what's called a boson, okay? Now, they've discovered since that time there's something called a composite boson. And a composite boson is basically, just like it sounds, it's made up of two or more particles that work together and create a different force. Those forces they haven't named. For example, if you look up the definition in Wikipedia of boson, you'll find they list a Cooper pair, which is the basis of superconductivity, as a composite boson. But they neglect, not once do they say, what force does this composite boson carry? And it has to carry something. That's like the definition of the boson.
Okay.
Okay.
I did a quick search for the boson. Oh, where is it? Hold on a second. And I think I got it here. I'm trying to keep up with you, buddy.
Okay.
Trying to keep up, but I'm trying to find where it went. Oh, gosh. Well, maybe I could just show this. There we go. All right, I did a very quick search, all right? And here it is. I don't know if I spelled it right. You tell me.
B-O-S-O-N.
Oh, oops, I did Bozo the Clown. Oh, sorry about that. Oops, I got the wrong one too. Doggone it. Did I get the wrong one? Nope, I think I got the right one. Nope, I got the wrong one. Oh, this is so tough. Oh, and the people in the chat are talking. Austin is mentioning some things about some of this stuff. It didn't pan out. So why isn't it panning out? So I'll have to try that again. I guess the joke is done now, though, isn't it? Well, there's the visual for it. Hopefully that will. No.
Well, you're going to ask me to repeat some of this when you get something.
There it is. There's bozo. Yeah. Okay. So you need boson.
The boson.
Boson. Is that with a Z? No, it's with the S.
B-O-S-O-N.
Boson particle?
Yeah, or boson. That's, you don't know.
Well, there's a whole bunch of other things for that too. I'm using DuckDuckGo.
Oh, okay.
All right, so here we are. Here's the boson particle images. But now, I don't know how much of this I really believe because, you know, they still haven't found the graviton particle yet, right?
Right.
So, I mean...
Well, see, here's what I want to try to point out in all this. Here is somebody has added to Wikipedia that Cooper pair is a composite boson, but neglects to answer the fundamental question. For it to be a boson, it has to carry some kind of a force that's separate from all the other forces. So what is that force? Okay. Now, if you also look under boson, it says that the definition of the boson, it says it has to follow, I can't remember, I think it says Podolsky-Rosen or Einstein-Rosen statistics. And when you look that up, you have to look up the
Bose-Einstein statistics.
Under Wikipedia.
Integer
statistics.
Yeah.
Now, the significance of that statistics is it says that these particles are capable of interacting together, essentially, to produce laser action. That's what the essence of what this says. These bosons are all undergo the same types of collective action together that's associated with laser action. Okay, now, you dig a little deeper. I'm trying to tell people out here in case they want to dig into this. You look up the definition of key Cooper pair in Wikipedia to discover Cooper pair is not one set of particles.
I can't get into Wikipedia, by the way. This is something that happened recently. So,
well, I'm not saying you buy everything. I'm just saying this is you have to, in doing an exploration, you have to start somewhere.
Right. No, I'm just telling you, I'm unable to even access anything on Wikipedia right now. So.
Oh, really? All you usually do is do the search for boson, and one of the things says boson and says Wikipedia. And,
right. I just clicked on it, and this is what's happening recently. This is why I need a new computer, because
they won't let you access it.
Apparently, it's my operating system. It's a Mac, so it's an older operating system, and it must be people must be phasing out their. I don't know. It's all very confusing. It's all very confusing. I just wish.
I'm almost done with reference to the Wikipedia.
Okay.
But if you look at the Wikipedia for Cooper pair, in superconductivity, Cooper pair is just two electrons bound together, one with a spin plus 1/2, another one with spin minus 1/2. And those two are bound together, and that's the basis of superconductivity. Now, the thing is, Wikipedia says that it's a class of particles. It's any particle where the spin, any two fermions. A fermion is just the name for a particle that has a charge. So electron we know has a charge, right? -1. So any two fermions that are bound together in such a way that their spin is an integer. Like, so in an electron's case, you got a spin -1/2, and you have a spin plus 1/2, and that gives a spin of 0. So that's the set of particles related to that. But that doesn't negate the possibility you could have two muons. They could also make a Cooper pair, or two tau particles could also make a Cooper pair, or perhaps, I don't know if anybody's considered this, maybe two protons or two quarks. We might do that too. I don't know. But it's not one set of particles, which means each one of those Cooper pairs should represent a different force, which means there's a whole lot of unknown forces that we've never seen before. In their very definition. That's what I'm trying to point out more than anything. They're right there in their definitions. They're revealing there's a whole lot of other forces that should exist that nobody's told us about.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm following a speculation. It's a long shot, but to keep two electrons close together to one another and bound to one another takes an enormous amount of energy. Imagine try pushing, the North Pole of two magnets together.
Mm-hmm.
The closer you get them together, the harder they push back, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Same way. Two electrons don't want to be bound close together. So to hold them together takes an enormous amount of energy. Now, I haven't found the exact amount that it takes, but it looks a lot like, I speculate, it looks a lot like the Higgs boson. The Higgs boson is the particle, supposedly, that has a very massive amount of energy that gives mass. It basically gives mass to matter, to light. Think of it as a mathematical equation that adds mass to light.
Okay.
So it makes, I'm trying to, how do you explain that? It's an overlying equation that adds matter in certain zones where light comes together and says, okay, this is going to be this amount of mass, this could be that amount of mass.
Yeah. So someone's asking who you are. It's Maxwell Smart is talking on the phone on the program here. He calls in quite often. He's a he's a scientist.
Scientist.
Yeah, I pronounce all the silent letters because I feel like they're being discriminated against.
All right. It sounds like you get some of this from your dad, you know.
Probably. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I'm trying to throw some things out there so people can do research and see that all this time they're telling us, oh, there's only these four fundamental forces, but yet in the very definitions that they put out there on places like Wikipedia, you know, there's a whole lot more than they're telling us.
Mm-hmm.
And you can infer that exactly from what they've told you.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do is look, and you'll see that with the Cooper pair alone, as a composite boson, each one of those different Cooper pair should have represent a different force. So, and you can imagine, certainly you can imagine, we know two electrons form a Cooper pair, so it's not hard to imagine the larger electron-like material like the muon and the tau would certainly do that.
Mm-hmm.
So what forces do they represent? You know,
probably the force of
pure, to me, like,
the force of pure pressure. Maybe the other particles are egging them on to do it.
I don't know. I don't have the answers to that, but there's some I speculate that the Cooper pair somehow couples with the higher analogs, like the Cooper pair. The Cooper pair made of two electrons coupled with the higher dimensional Cooper pair made from two muons, and then they in turn couple with a higher dimensional pair of the two tau particles. And this is why this gives this notion of, you know, you have the Cooper pair possibly producing gravity, and then the Cooper pair made of muons might make the equivalent of some kind of supergravity or some higher level gravitational interaction. And finally, the two tau particles, two taus interacting together, make something like super hypergravity or something.
Okay.
So I know that sounds way out, but this goes along with what I was saying the other day, that the fact that we only see the electron and the particles made of the up and down quarks and the neutrino, and yet we know these other particles exist that are very much like our normal particles. As we shift to another, have a dimensional shift, say with ascension, we might become aware of this other matter that's all around us,
mm-hmm.
just slightly dimensionally out of phase or some, and that would lead to a whole set of new elements
Mm-hmm.
based upon, instead of electrons, add the properties of all the elements we see now, right?
Yeah, you know how this all started, don't you? One scientist said to another, "What's the matter?"
Okay. But now imagine a periodic table, instead of the electrons, the outer electrons giving the properties of what the new material is, matter. Imagine matter where the muons are orbiting what we would call a nucleus, but the nucleus is made, instead of up and down quarks, is made up of strange strange, and charm the quarks. And so on the next level beyond that, imagine the nucleus made up of top and bottom quarks, making, I don't know, you want to call it a super proton or a super, whatever you want to call it. And then the things orbiting around it are the tau particles. So I'm just trying to get you to think about how we might only be able to perceive just a small amount of the real, essentially, technological potential that's really out there.
Mm-hmm.
Elements that we can't imagine, so.
Yep. I got a meme up there now. It says it's got a picture of Trump just leering at Fauci. Fauci's like looking in a different direction. He can't see the sternness in which Trump is focusing at him. Probably at one of their many press conferences they had early on in the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
But it says Trump destroys his enemies by sunlighting them, puts them center stage, and hands them the mic. Yep. Never interrupt an enemy that's in the process of destroying themselves.
Right.
And
that was one of the things they used to always say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's from The Art of War, isn't it?
No, I think that's from the boards. That's from the boards.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think so.
I thought it was I know Trump is a fan of The Art of War.
Yeah.
And so I wondered if that was straight from that.
Could be.
But that's a fundamental part of the plan, how to take down the deep state.
Mm-hmm.
You if you can view the future, right, you know what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And what you do is just utilize what you know they're going to do your bidding.
Here's another way to stick it to the deep state. Have you heard about this? This is historic. The top 5 songs on iTunes hip hop charts are all Let's Go Brandon songs.
Yeah.
All 5 of them.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
By different people too. 2 of them are the same person.
That's the main theme of the plan, was to know what they're going to do in advance, be there, set the trap so that when you know what they're going to do, they step right into a trap.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the essence. That's the essence of what the plan does. That's what happened with the January 6th event. Trump knew exactly what they're going to do, and he used it. He used the mainstream media declared an insurrection, and the Insurrection Act of 1807 does not require the president to invoke it.
Mm-hmm.
So once invoked, it allows the current president, even though he's going out of office, to stay in power and to remain the president and to take on the belligerent occupation. That's what's going on right now. And the belligerent occupation is allowed to do, under the Geneva Convention, is allowed to do certain things, and they won't be interfered with. The whole purpose is to let the people see and reject the occupation. And then they can step in and put it down. And that's what we're living, folks.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're living. In a nutshell, I just told you what's going on. I know you might not believe it, but I can only assert what I know to be true.
Mm-hmm. Well, we appreciate
everything. God is in control. Trump is in control, and the military is in control.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This is all going to be turned around.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing we can do is not feed into any fear, but
mm-hmm.
keep our intentions focused on waking up our fellow humans.
And working on ourselves. Mud Rabbit
Working on ourselves.
says, without labels, unions, brokers, managers, or agents. Yes. Dark Brain says, I bought Bryson Gray's Let's Go Brandon. It's a great song. Yeah, and Green Dragon 64, and welcome Green Dragon 64 and MacGyver and everybody else I forgot to say hello to, says, Green Dragon 64 says, I don't know if it's just me or not, but it really seems like we might be winning. I think we are winning. We are winning.
Oh, we are.
Winning. Because you know who taught us how to win? Trump. Because there's no bigger winner than Trump. And he not only did he win, he showed us all how to win. Okay. He showed
But he couldn't do it without us.
Every successful future political person is going to have to, do what Trump did, do things for the people. It's very simple. Just do things for the people. But I guess if you're all blackmailed
he showed us the way.
If you're all blackmailed out,
he showed us the way, and then we woke up and started following. We started doing what he showed. He needed us as much as we need him.
Yeah, now that we see all the grease in the filter, we got to clean it all out and get the vent working again.
He started the process, and he knew we'd have his back.
Yeah, and he said they're not really after me, they're after you. I'm just in the way. And boy, that becomes more and more evident every day. Sicking the FBI after parents at school board meetings. I think someone should redo the song Harper Valley PTA, but with more modern themes, if you will. I think that'd be so cool.
Well, that's a great idea.
Yeah, Harper Valley.
Great idea.
The Harper Valley PTA. I stood up and told my mind. Stood up for my rights or whatever. You could change it all around.
Put some of your creative juices to that. That sounds like a great thing. I think that would really go over well.
But that would have to be a female singer, because that's a female singer
that's
song.
Fine.
What's funny about that song? When I was a little kid, I was the middle kid, and I used to follow my big brother everywhere, but he didn't like me following him. But I couldn't figure out why he didn't like me following him. While at the same time, I had a little brother that liked to follow me, and I couldn't figure out why he wanted to follow me. So, still trying to figure that one out. But so
you know who Lala Deaton is?
No, who?
She's in this movement, Lala Deaton.
No.
She's a country music star, and she's got a great few songs about the Great Awakening, basically. But she would be a good person
or
might take on such a thing.
You know who else? What's her name? She's my Facebook friend. What's her name? She's a really good singer too. But anyway,
throw that idea their way. I think that's a great idea.
It would need to be written first. I just had the idea. I didn't really write anything down on it yet, but I think that was such a cool song. But getting back to my story very quickly, it's a very quick story. So I was following my big brother. I was very little, and my brother was like a year and a half older than me. I was always fascinated with where he was going, what he was doing. He didn't want me to follow him. So I followed him one day. He was checking. He didn't see me follow him. I followed him across the neighborhood to this girl's house, and he went in there, and I was peeking in through the basement window. I could see him in the basement, and this girl put on this record on the record player, and they were dancing to the Harper Valley PTA song. It was so funny. So funny. Yeah. But that was a big hit back then. I think that could be
a great song. I think that was resonating with a lot of people.
Oh, I think so too.
And that's why I said don't limit. I mean, put it out there. Let other people. Who cares if we have multiple versions of it?
Yeah.
The best ideas will come out of it. So yeah, throw it out to people. All you people out there, go take some of these ideas and see if you got friends. Make some words to it. Mm-hmm. Go listen to the song if you haven't heard it before.
Yeah, it's a great song. I'd play it now, but I get a copyright strike. But it was a great song from the 60s. I think it was from the 60s, late 60s.
I'm trying to remember who sang it.
Let me look it up. I'll look it up so we can at least get that.
That'll make it easier for people to go look at it. But it was a country music star, wasn't it?
It went pop too.
Yeah.
It was a big pop
I
star.
want to say Patsy Cline, but I don't think, I don't know.
Jeannie C. Riley. Jeannie C. Riley, 1968.
Okay.
Written by Tom
everybody
T.
ought to go listen to that.
Written by Tom T. Hall. Written by Tom T. Hall.
Maybe you should have a contest. You know?
No.
The best, Great Awakening / something pertinent to our time, put to Harper Valley PTA.
Okay, so here's the lyrics. I want to tell you all the story about a Harper Valley widowed wife who had a teenage daughter who attended Harper Valley Junior High. I mean, I'm not singing it like it should be sung. Well, you can read it yourself. You can get it all. I don't know if it opened at the PTA was going to meet all that afternoon, and they all were sure surprised when, and Mrs. Johnson wore her mini skirt.
Starting out, or you can talk about
it can be
starting out.
It can be trained. It can be it can be done. Yeah. So.
Oh, I think it'd be great. That's what I think. Somebody go out there. Everybody who wants to do it, do it. I think I'd like to hear the versions. It'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
I think that's a real gem of an idea that you had there.
You think so, huh? Well, thanks.
I think that's fantastic.
Thanks. I'm also working on.
When people hear that song, if they don't know that song, and when they hear it, they'll say, "Oh, I can work with that."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a great melody. It flows well, and it's catchy. It's very catchy.
Yeah.
So I think that song sticks with me from that era, and so does These Boots Were Made for Walking. Those two songs really kind of encapsulated that whole kind of era.
That would be a good one too. These boots are made for walking. That's just what we'll do. They'll do.
Yeah.
They'll be talking about walking over to Deep State. That one of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you.
Yeah. Nancy Sinatra. It was her best hit, and she was kind of talking. Oh, Barbara Eden starred in a movie made from that song. Oh, okay.
These boots are made for Brendan.
Okay. All righty then. Let's.
I think people ought to get creative with some songs. I think they would be great for morale.
Oh yeah. Look what the Brandon song has done. Look what the Brandon song has done for people. I mean, it's
right.
It's huge.
We could put some more songs out there. They lift spirits. I'm sure they're very demoralizing to the Deep State. They see all these versions of these songs going out there, and of course, they wake up a whole lot more people. To the young people, especially. What do you think they're going after Facebook and what the Facebook is presenting to the young, right? Well, the Deep State's already figured out the young are already waking it up. So they know their future. The Deep State's future is not good when the young are already waking up. So they were counting on their, 16, 19, whatever, to seal the deal and make them all into raving lunatics. And it's not happening.
Right. It sure is.
Primarily because they have the time. They have the time to use the internet, and they're curious enough. Someone will tell them, "Well, did you see this?" And they'll go look, and then they'll start suddenly realize, "Well, that's not what the media is saying."
Yeah. Well, a lot of the normies. I have another song idea too, but I don't want to break it out yet. I might want to do this one myself and just have it, bam, because I think it's a really cool one. I have a meme that I think everyone's going to like. Maybe people have seen it. I got to wait for my computer to, okay, there it's coming. It's coming. It's...
Folks, go out there and use the word Pino. I'd like to see everybody out there talking about the Pino, the president in name only.
There you go. As you know, today, Mark Zuck has supposedly changed the name of his company from Facebook to Meta. So here's a nice meme. Data, and of course you got Data from Star Trek Next Generation, and then next to him, a very similar looking Zuck, metadata. There you go. They look related. Although I think Zuckerberg looks much more like a robot than Data ever did. For some reason, Star Trek seemed to think it was a good idea that androids in the future would have thick makeup on, but I guess, I don't know. Greasy makeup. Yeah. Well, you got the part, but we're going to have to put greasy makeup all over your face every day. Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's good. I like that. I like that meme.
But I think one of the reasons the deep state tries to keep us all apart, and from interacting with people is because when we're together, we resonate. We all are learning, and when we learn, our light, which is our soul, is elevated. It gains more energy. And when we're close together, we either resonate and pick up from other people,
mm-hmm.
especially though if we shake hands or give a hug, or I think it's like a contact.
Mm-hmm.
We can resonantly transfer the energy, but I think we do it much more rapidly when we're in the same company with other people.
Right.
I mean, I give an example. Like I said, I give this example before, but it's like when Moses comes off I think it's Mount Sinai with the Ten Commandments, he's glowing.
Mm.
And it said he's glowing because he's been in contact with the divine. And he can't help, but his soul has picked up and energized from that contact. In the same way, we pick up from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Remember this: our soul is divine; it's part of divine.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is what we might call our collective consciousness. More efficiently, we connect with our fellow patriots. The faster we will liberate ourselves.
Yeah.
But don't worry, it's already been determined. We've already won. It's just we have to live through this.
Mm-hmm.
We have to live through this for other people.
I guess the Jewish people are laughing at Zuckerberg because apparently, was it the Jewish people or in some other language? Apparently, meta means death.
Means what?
Death.
Death?
Yeah,
death.
Death. Like someone's suffering from death. That means they're dead.
Okay, so the metaverse is a death universe.
Well, yeah, you can appear in the office as a hologram. Oh, so you'll never touch another human unless we say who you can touch, because they're gonna traffic everybody now. Sick.
Well, you see what they could be going with this. They get us all kind of entrained in this system, this virtual world in the metaverse, and then eventually they use the technology where literally our brains are connected to it.
Yeah, it's a bad.
For that matter, we could be wasting away. Well, because we couldn't retract from it.
Mm-hmm.
So, because they really don't care. That's if they went ahead with this transhumanism thing.
Well,
But
they are
that's what
going forward. They are pushing it real hard. And
I know, but we're about to put an end to that.
Well, I think they're going to get a lot of people to buy into it. Now on Mika's planet, they had a full third of their population chipped. And then as soon as the third got chipped, they started passing laws that everyone had to get chipped. So this is their plan. They don't want it just for, they want everybody in it. So, and just like back in the 60s, the CIA infiltrated all of the communes because they did not want people living off grid and not paying, utilities and things. This is why they did that. And then why they...
See, one of the things Trump did is force them to reveal their plan at a faster rate, which people can't assimilate this garbage quickly, but slowly people will go along with a whole lot of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But all these things are being thrown at us and calling parents domestic terrorists. People are like saying, what? I'm not going to put up with that. And that's across the board. That's not a Democrat or Republican thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, why did that take some nerve to call us a domestic terrorist?
Yeah, ridiculous.
And to say we don't have rights and what our children learn.
Mm. Yeah.
But they're going to make more mistakes. They're going to be, they're going to push it hard. We're going to see a lot of bad things happen probably in the next few weeks, probably even. So as they push more and more of their agenda, they're probably trying to figure out what to do because they're kind of trapped. They know they're trapped.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much evidence that Biden is president in name only. He's not really the president because you look at all the things surrounding, the inauguration, compare it to Trump's inauguration, compare how inaugurations normally done. How does the supposed, president, presidential candidate delivered to the inauguration? Normally he's escorted by the military. Well, the military didn't do that. Biden had to take a commercial flight.
Yeah.
There's so many things that if you look at why did Biden have to have a separate White House looking movie set across the street? Because he's not in the White House. Okay.
Well, I think he is in the White House. They do have other things. Yeah. I don't think Trump's in the White House. Trump's
not in the White House.
He's at Mar-a-Lago. He's at the winter White House.
The summer White House.
The summer White House, yeah. The winter White House.
And there's no accident there either.
Right.
But why wasn't the nuclear code pillow handed off to Biden?
Right.
Because he's not president.
Mm-hmm.
But and so they put together their own little one. Said, "Oh, we got one too." They don't have more than one. It's all an illusion. It's all an act. That's what I'm trying to. You can go see those things for yourself. That's what I'm asking people to do. You'll see this is why it's like a movie. They're allowed to do something. David Wilcock has the best presentation about because he goes through and shows the actual pages for the belligerent occupation, the 11.3, the 11.7, 11.9, or whatever that was given to us in the drops. It says in there what they're supposed to do, what the steps are supposed to be. And I tell people, go look at Trump's executive orders, pull them up, especially for 2018, and you'll see right there, he makes an executive order that says if a foreign power should interfere with an election, then anybody that's aided and abetted that foreign power, their assets are to be seized. Do you think he did that for nothing? No. He's telling us what's going to happen. Someone ought to go find that, and we'll read it out loud here so people can see this is what's going to happen. I'm trying to give you clues as to see, if you wanted to have answers. He's put a lot of answers out there. We don't realize it.
Right. I've had a picture up here for a while. It's a very curious picture. It's a UFO over Turkey, and this one was seen in 2008 and 2009. It was filmed on separate occasions. It was very strange because it was over the water, and it looks like only a portion of, if it's a disc-shaped craft, only an edge of it is showing. And they tried to say, oh, that's because the moon was only lighting up that part of it. Well, that's just not true. It looks like it's in some kind of black envelope or some kind of slot, like what Bernie was talking about, But let me see.
Interesting.
But yeah, and they actually were able to get some close-up pictures of it because it was a high-definition camera they took it with. And there's actually people in there, aliens in there. And I got another image to show you here. I'm just going to kind of brighten this up as much as I can to show you. See, right along here, there's a black edge, like as if it's in a black envelope, maybe in space-time, maybe it's in a portal. Or the other thing was maybe it's just a portion of a ship reflecting up on the sky in the air above the water. Sometimes a mirage happens. It could be just the bow of the front of a ship. It kind of looks like a ship, but I don't know. It's a mysterious one. People might remember this one from back then. I just saw something more on it today, and I thought I haven't talked about this yet. It's a very interesting case. And actually, Dr. Lear, a famous podiatrist who removed objects from contactees' bodies that they claimed were used to track them, and so he removed several of these things from people's bodies, and he's no longer with us now. Maybe because of the work he was doing, he was uncovering too much. But so let's go and try and find those other ones. It shows the close-up picture. Okay, so here's a little closer. And I'm hoping that shows up. Oh, there it is. It's down here. Okay, you can sort of see something there, but now I got another picture where they zoomed in on the high definition footage, and they got this. Check this out. Look at that. Those look like aliens to me. There's one clear alien right there. Looks like he has his hand up here, or maybe that's another alien behind him. Here's an alien here. Here's his two eyes, his mouth. It looks pretty clear to me. I mean, it's amazing they got that kind of footage looking in the window of that craft. Incredible. So I think that's one of the cases that's pretty credible. If it isn't just a reflection. It's so odd that it's just a portion of it coming through. Have you ever seen that case, Max?
No, I haven't.
From Turkey?
No.
2008. This is 2007, 2008, 2009, around that time. There was a series of them, and they kept going back, and they kept being there. So they got all this footage. Incredible stuff. So yeah, it's from Turkey, over Turkey. And I have to think that in Turkey, the most popular meat for sandwiches is probably turkey. What do you think? I don't know. I mean, if I'm in Turkey and if I'm like eating meat, I'd probably order a turkey sandwich, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I don't know. I like them.
You know, BCP's been doing some.
Sleep, though.
BCP's been doing some live shows. Did you see that?
Who?
BCP.
Oh yeah, I heard the last one anyway.
Black Conservative Patriot. Yeah. I'd like to get him on my show too.
I can't listen to the main show because he gets too much what you call it, too much commentary, and it's an overload for me. So I have to listen. If I listen to the Black Patriot Report,
yeah, where his daughter reads it,
there's less commentary. I like it a lot more.
Yeah, his kids do a great job. I think he's starting a little news empire there with his family. It's really kind of cool. Yeah. He
gets very excited. That's obvious.
He calls his daughter Juniorette and his son Junior. So yeah, that's so funny. But that's great that he's involving his kids, and I think his wife even does some of the outros and intros too. So yeah, he's a cool guy, and we are not alone for sure. Peggy Dancer, hello, Peggy Dancer. Hi, Aaron, Dark Brain, Mud Rabbit, Abby, Kelly, George, Austin, and Max. Wow, we got them all in there. Fantastic. Okay.
Oh.
All right. So that's that case. I thought that was pretty interesting. In Turkey, back in 2007 to 2009. So I thought that was very interesting. I have another picture of the wind bike. Remember me talking about the wind bike, Max?
Yeah, vaguely.
It's a bike. Yeah, it's a bike
with an umbrella attached.
Yeah. Now this one isn't. This picture isn't so glamorous. It shows from the driver's point of view. All right, and my son is riding it at the campground where we lived. So I'll show you that. Pretty funny. But yeah, there it is. There's my son riding the old wind bike. Oops. And as you can see, we had to kind of tape up the bottom because it was dragging, because it was at a certain angle. I think it's like a 15-degree angle or something like that. But just the way the bike was built, we couldn't get any steeper angle than that. So, but even at that low angle, I'm telling you, Max, even just a slight breeze, you're not pedaling. You're going, but you're not pedaling.
Right.
Just
you probably don't necessarily have to have that big an umbrella.
No, it's a huge. And let me tell you, when a gust comes, and gusts come up here a lot, and they come from every direction.
Yeah.
It blew
That's
me in.
Danger.
It blew me in the ditch twice. It blew me right in the ditch,
yeah.
And I thought, holy crap, this could blow me into traffic. I mean, this could be a dangerous thing, which makes me want to ride it even more.
Well, that's where you to make a kind of an umbrella that you can continuously vary the amount of air it holds.
Well, yeah, I did cut holes in the front of it. That's the only way you can see through it. But the next
handlebar where you can turn the knob on the handlebar, and the total area of the umbrella would change.
I have that. It's a crank. You crank it, crank it open and crank it shut. But the problem is a gust comes in, it opens it up, and you're gone. You're going whichever way the wind is going. You're going. You're hanging on for dear life, or you're letting go and watching it take off in the sky. But
it's a great concept. Just needs a little refinement, I think.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, when my son, he was all day long going up and down the campground road. It's kind of a straight road, kind of a long road. There's hardly anyone on it. So he was having a blast.
Make a solar powered bike.
He came in the house, his face was just red from all that fun he had. And he said, "That was so much fun, Dad." And it was something we made from 2 free things, a free umbrella and a free bike. So, you know, you don't need a lot of money to have a lot of fun, you know. That was a lot of fun. But next time I'll use I would like to make a clear one, you know, clear.
So you see through it.
So you can see through it, and so people can see you, because I had it painted silver and it looked like a UFO, and I kept thinking some farmer's going to shoot me because he thinks it's a UFO. And it would scare the horses. It scared horses, so it was freaky looking.
Well, I've been trying to make a solar powered bike.
Oh yeah?
Remember those hubs I talked about, which are it's called an axial motor.
Mm-hmm.
But they're very powerful, very efficient. And I was thinking about this. How could I make it like a 10-speed bike that you really can't tell that it's motorized?
Mm-hmm.
And see, these hubs, you can't really tell.
Right.
It looks like a 10-speed hub, you know? And so I was thinking about how to do this. Then I had this idea. Now, I don't know if these generators can be used. I mean, these motors can be used as generators. Imagine you had another hub on the front.
Mm-hmm. Sure. It's generating as you're going. Yeah.
Generating power to the battery.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, the batteries I was going to use, the lithium-ion batteries, and they were small enough, I was going to put them down the tubular frame of the bike.
Okay.
So they're invisible. And I'm still putting together the plan to do it. I definitely want to do it. And then, of course, I've been working on, for a long time, I've worked on solar power concepts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on a concept now how to use the 0-point energy to power a solar cell.
Oh, okay.
And why is that important? Well, I'll give you the significance of it. In my estimation, using 0-point energy, I can make a solar cell that produces 3,000 watts per square foot.
Okay.
So a typical house, a big house, uses 8,000 watts, per hour, I guess kilowatt hour.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be done with literally 2.5 square foot.
Okay.
So imagine imagine you had a 3 foot by 3 foot section on your roof. That's 9 times 3,000. That's 27,000 watts. 27 kilowatts. A lot more than you need. Dramatically more.
Mm-hmm.
So
I wonder how many kilowatts it takes to make a pair of action pants. That's what I want to know.
Action pants. What's an action pant?
Someone Abby asked, is it anything like the action pants? And action pants is an ad for this product called the action pants. It must be from the 60s. It's just outrageous. It shows this is from Sansabelt. I guess at some point, who is that karate guy? Who is the karate guy? Chuck Norris did some ads for them, but this is not Chuck Norris. It's some goofy looking guy, kind of a business type looking guy. And he's got like a polo shirt on and a pair of like dress slacks. He's holding his jacket in his arm, and he's got this woman. He's holding this woman's hand. She's got this dog. The dog's looking right at the pants, right at the action zone. The action zone is right in the groin area of the pants. And it says, "A man of action needs to wear pants of action. Sansabelt." the only slack with the patented action zone. And then it also says at Shempley's department store, it says, now with the extra large snack sack, whatever the heck that is. So I just thought it was uproariously funny. And I have to think that this ad might have had something to do with the genesis of the whole Austin Powers persona, because this just seems like an Austin Powers type. I mean, a man of action needs to wear pants of action. That sounds like something that you know, Austin Powers would say, doesn't it? I don't know.
Hey, I just had an idea how to improve upon your bike, your wind bike.
Oh yeah.
What if you're wearing a costume? I got this idea from Batman, and you have this little control in your hand, and you can push a button, and two little wings would pop out from the side or something on the. Otherwise, allow you to be the sail, so you have the control over the.
Oh, like wearing one of those free fall suits they're kind of like webbed. You could like stretch your arms out or not.
Yeah, but you really don't. If you just effectively create twice your cross section, you'd have a huge amount of push.
Yeah.
But it's under your control. You can twist your body to deflect it, or you can retract it just with the push of a button.
Well, now the wind bike did have an emergency button that you could push, and it would release the umbrella. It's the metal thing you push down, right? It's a function of the thing, the patio umbrella. So the part that's attached to the bike is affixed to the bike, but the part that comes apart is just like where the umbrella is. So if the wind gets too uproarious, you can just push that button. But the 2 times I got blown in the ditch, there wasn't enough time to push the button. So even with the button, yeah, snack sack. What is that? Oh,
I see a disadvantage of what I just said, though. You get going so fast, all of a sudden you lift off the bike.
Oh, there you go. You can fly like the chitty chitty bang bang, huh?
Or you get to 88 miles per hour and you suddenly go through time.
Yeah.
Like the DeLorean. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Best ad ever. Dark Brain says, my pants only have the extra medium snack sack. Someone had to make this ad, and someone had to approve it. Okay. Unbelievable. Action zone. And the dog is looking right at the action zone. I don't know. Maybe one moment after this picture was taken, the dog attacks the action zone and mayhem ensues. I don't know, but it's just so funny. He's got such a glee look on his face. And the woman looks very intrigued. Oh, I'll go wherever this action man leads me. He's got action pants on from Sanzabelt. Well, yeah, I love that. The action pants. %100% Dacron something. What does that say? It says Dacron something. Ability. Dacron ability? Whatever that is. Yeah, so that's the way ads were back in the 60s, friends. You want action pants, you got action pants. There you go. I love those action pants. I got to get me a pair of those babies. Maybe I go to the thrift shop and find them on sale years later, right? Maybe I can get the Sanzabelt. And here's a little UFO it's a very old picture taken, I believe, by someone in the service, possibly the Navy. And it shows a strange craft, a cigar-shaped craft over the water. There's some lines in the photo. I don't know if those are from folds or from some kind of anomaly that's happening. This looks like something in the development of the film, but look at this thing. It looks like a giant floating hot dog over the water. What is it? It's very strange. So very strange.
My UFO has a first name. It's OSCAR.
Yeah. Bologna. Yeah. I don't know if that's real image or if it's faked. I don't know. But
I can say my Pino has a first name.
Yeah. JOE. Yeah, that's Oscar Mayer is another supposed alleged possible Mandela effect.
Oh?
Because it's Mayer instead of Meyer. It's Mayer, not Meyer now.
Right.
It used to be Meyer, apparently, according to some people. So yeah. Well, friends, we're coming up on 1 o'clock here in the Central Time. We got like 10 minutes to 1. Maybe we should put a wrap on this. What do you think? What do you think, Max?
Well, it depends on what you have to say and what other people want to hear. You know?
Yeah. Well, best ad ever. Yeah, that best ad ever for the pants. Yeah, the snack sack. Yeah, it's just unbelievable. MacGyver.
So far, the turkey isn't taking me down.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, you're staying awake good this time. Yeah.
Well, that day I was fighting had a lot of issues to deal with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had a chemical leak in the laboratory, and
Oh boy.
it's quite a serious one too. But got it under control. It was one of those things potentially immediately dangerous to life and health. You know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Got it under control.
Well, that's good.
But I was close to going to the hospital.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, I got dizzy. Got carbon monoxide poisoning.
If you have to go to the,
I knew what the antidote was.
If you go to the hospital now these days, you better bring your utility belt. Have plenty of hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin in there.
You know, they wouldn't know how to deal with this. I'd be the one telling them how to help me.
Okay.
Fortunately, I had the antidote readily available, and I took it. And
yeah. And
what it was is there was a solvent around in it. Some common solvents break down over time because they kind of react with the glass, and then this particular case, chloroform falls apart to make something called phosgene. And phosgene was a chemical warfare agent during the First World War. And phosgene falls apart when it gets in your lungs to hydrochloric acid, which basically, if you breathe enough of it, it causes swelling and your lungs fill with fluid, and you drown. But there's another problem, of course. When the thing falls apart, it releases carbon monoxide, which quickly ties up the hemoglobin in your blood. And of course, if you get enough of it, you're going to suffocate.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is you can't smell the carbon monoxide. You can feel the phosgene definitely smells like freshly grown. When you cut your grass,
mm-hmm.
you mow your yard, that's what it smells like.
Okay.
That's exactly what it smells like. But when it's mixed with the chloroform, it smells a little different. So it's kind of deceptive.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very heavy. So it actually, when it's released from the bottle, the one of the telltale signs is you hear what happens, the pressure builds up in the bottom, and every once in a while it lets go a little of that pressure, and you're like, what is that? What's that noise? And of course, that was happening for a while. I didn't even know what the noise was.
Okay.
But it was it's heavier than air, so it was clinging to the floor.
Okay.
And then, of course, when you move through it, there's this layer of stuff on the floor. When you move through it, you stir some of it up. And
Oh, yeah.
You stir some of it up, you end up breathing some of it, and you say,
yeah.
And the real danger is if you got dizzy and faint and fell to the floor, now you'd be getting the full strength.
Yeah. Right.
So, but fortunately, there's an easy way to neutralize that. I mean, you don't want to put it. We have a hood that can suck this stuff up, but you really don't want to put it because you don't know how much is actually there. You do not want to put this out into the air where it can get to a community or. So fortunately, there's an easy way to neutralize it, and that's ammonia.
Okay.
You just get some ammonia in your spray bottle, and you literally either put a little pan out on the floor, and it'll react readily with the material and render it more or less harmless.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a little while. Just keep putting it out. And of course, one way you can monitor that process, you can get yourself a carbon monoxide detector. But there's more sophisticated ways. But so didn't take long, Or you can take a little spritzer with a little ammonia in it, a spray bottle, and spray it around and let it evaporate, and it readily reacts with the stuff on the floor.
Okay.
And eventually all the odor disappears when you get close. You have to do all that before you can deal with the bottle that's leaky. Because otherwise you go to find that bottle and you could poison yourself before you could get the darn thing taken care of.
Okay.
Half the battle, of course, is, I served on a safety committee of a Fortune 500 company for a long time, so I was familiar with these kind of hazards.
Okay.
So it allowed me to deal with the problem quickly once I figured out what was going on.
Abby says, sorry to hear, Max. Glad you're okay now.
Yeah, it was potentially quite dangerous. Fortunately, I recognized something was off. When you start getting dizzy and you never get dizzy, you're like, uh-oh, what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
So I started putting all the clues together, the hissing sound, the weird smell, a number of things. I hadn't seen many bugs in the laboratory, and occasionally see those. I think they'd all been gassed.
Mm-hmm.
We usually see a mouse or two. We haven't seen mice in quite a while. So
Okay.
this has probably been going on for quite a while, just building up over time. And finally, it got to the point where it was really affecting us.
Wow. I'm glad you got it figured out.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, otherwise I might not be here.
Yeah, I know I worked in a place years ago where they did a lot of silk screening. And I was in the design area, but silk screening wasn't too far away. And by the end of the day, there was, like you said, on the low level, you're walking, you can just smell it down there.
Good.
And it's just thick, like this dangerous, toxic stuff. You can just tell it's just deadly. So I got a picture of the Awesome Possum. It's the redesigned Awesome Possum. I'm doing 2 books with that. Hopefully have them done at some time in the near future. I had the first book all done, but I changed his look to this, and now I have to redo the first book. So I got 2 books to illustrate now. And so that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Oh, ready in time for Christmas? Oh, I don't know if I'll be ready in time for Christmas. I've been working on these stories. I first wrote Awesome Possum in 2002. So this is how long it's taken me. And I've had the first book illustrated for a number of years, but I wasn't happy with it. So I got a new look. This is the new look. So I'm going with that. And I also want to share the Miss Moose, his teacher, because I showed a sketch of that the other day. And this is the first quick color rendering of it. And I might change the colors, but there it is. And we had a very funny, I think it was Edward Taylor, because I was curious and I was asking people, oh, do you think it's okay if a female moose has antlers? And someone said, oh yeah, you don't want to be thought of as transgender. And then Edward Taylor says, he said, Moose Jenner. Moose Jenner. Oh, that's got to be that's going to be a meme for sure. Moose Jenner.
I think there's a new sci-fi movie out there. I think it's called Antler.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
So there's Miss Moose. So there you go.
I don't know quite yet whether it's a sci-fi or a horror movie or what it is.
Okay.
So.
All right. Oh, thanks, Abby. She says, oh, great, Aaron. It's looking good. And Mud Rabbit says he's cute. Oh, thank you. Yeah, here's the first book. I had it all done, but he's got a different look on this one. Let me stop screen share. See, he's got a much different look. And I like his new look better. So it'll be better. You got to make those changes when you can before it goes into print. So I will have that done eventually. But, if you want to get something in time for Christmas, I do have 2 other books, Popple and Popple's Place, that you could order. And I'll, for the next show for Monday, or if I do a show on the weekend, I'll work something up to get Popple and Popple's Place, because I illustrated those books and they help the children's hospitals. So Moose Jenner, yeah. So we'll get that for you next time. I want to thank everyone for coming here and spending time with us. You're a wonderful family. Oh, there's 17 watching. I love that number. You're like all my best friends. Thank you so much. I've been reading a lot of the chats. I haven't been able to comment too much on it, but I appreciate all of everyone in the chat having such a good time. And remember, people, you rock. And thanks for coming on this truth quest with me, because we always go beyond the strange, where the outrageous is contagious and the paranormal is the new normal. So with that, remember to keep your eyes and your cameras and your phones trained on the sky so you can take a picture or a video of that UFO. So you can come on the Truth Quest and we can do this full disclosure together, because you are an important part of full disclosure. When you call in and talk about your experience, you help others to do the same thing, and we'll have full disclosure before long. It's up to us. No one else is going to do it. So with that, friends, thank you and peace in.